Hey everyone, my name is Bryon Howard. I'm a Calgary realtor who has sold an average of a house a week since moving to this great city in 2003. And this is Calgary Living, Real Estate and Lifestyle. I'm interviewing Calgary's top performers as it relates to living and lifestyle in our great city. Some of the podcasts will be real estate decisions specific, but most will be about life in Calgary and why we choose to live here, or at least why you should visit. Thanks for tuning in. Well, folks, welcome to another edition of Living in Calgary. Today, we have the good fortune to have mayoral candidate Emily on the show. Emily, welcome.
Hi, welcome to you and thank you for the opportunity. My name actually pronounced
Emil.
Emil.
And your last name, how do you pronounce that? I won't mess it up.
Gabriel. Yeah, many times people actually pronounce it differently, like Emil. So I came up with an idea. I said, what do you eat every day? They said, meal. So that's Emil.
Emil. That's email every day. Emil. Oh, that's good. Okay. I was going to say, when you asked me, what do I eat every day? I was going to think oatmeal, which would not be true, but I do like oatmeal and I would like to eat email. Actually, that's how
it sounds. Send me email.
Send me email. Yeah. Well, that's good. Email, just as we were hitting record here, this is your third time running for our mayor here in Calgary.
Yes.
And so what drives you to want to lead our city?
Well, a couple of things. As you know, I am an immigrant. I came from Egypt was a beautiful country. And many people, when I was young, came from other countries to live in Egypt. Our neighbors with German, Italian, Greek, you name it. But then corruption starts taking place and opportunity for young people like me after finishing university was not existing unless if you have connection or you want to bribe somebody, which are values that we didn't inherit in my family. So we've been looking for another new home. We went to Switzerland and we tried different countries in Europe, but there is no immigration in Europe. So between the United States and Canada, our family started living in Egypt.
What year roughly? What year?
During the 70s, my family, during 1970s, made the decision that we cannot live with that system here anymore. So we start preparing to leave the country. So your question, what may inspire you? So when you experience, you see, my experience here is different than the Canadian who born in Calgary or Canada. I have seen how things were good and then slowly deteriorate and become really bad beyond the point of no return. These things happen in Canada and in our city. So I made a commitment to myself that when I come to Canada, I do my best to be part of the solution. Funny enough, when I met with the Canadian ambassador in Cairo to receive my paper, that the interest to Canada, he looked at my, you have a point system. And then he said to me, do you speak other languages? I said, yes. So he started speaking to me in German, I guess. And then he started laughing. He said, you got 96 points here. I have no room to give you more. And then he said that word to me more than 40 years ago. He said, I'm going to send you to Alberta. You are an engineer. I'm going to send you there to contribute your experience and knowledge to this province. 40 years ago or more, I had those words. So a combination now, you see, life experience shape your character. Between the example of my father, who was an eye doctor, and he had the kidney disease that took his life at the age of 42.
Oh, no.
Yeah, he committed one of his clinics. He had two clinics beside his work in the hospital. He committed one of those clinics to teach the poor, to treat the poor free. And to the last minute, before he passed away, he never complained about his pain and never stopped helping those people.
Wow.
And after he passed away, we discovered that we didn't have any money. He didn't leave any money.
Really?
People were surprised. And then my mother, I was 11 and a half.
Yeah.
My youngest brother was 4. 6 kids he left behind. And then my mother explained to us why there was no money. She said that your father's philosophy was to leave an example to our kids, not money. But he maybe didn't expect to die that young, because when he was alive, we lived the luxury.
Wow.
After he passed away, from the top to the bottom. But watch this. And that's, he asked me what inspired me to involve with community and help or really participate, offering my service here in that mayor position. The people he used to treat for free, they came together and wrote a letter to the president. He said, this guy was helpful to us and helpful to the community. He used to contribute to projects in the communities, but he passed away and he had no pension. Can you help? So the president, Nasser, at that time, issued an order for partial pension because of that letter.
Wow.
You see, my father's philosophy proved to me it works. When you invest in people, the investing come back to you. And that's how my mother was her sacrifice, an example. She was able to put all of us in university and to keep teaching us the values of working. And that's how we end up as a family with very limited income, able to, all my family actually has the same intention to contribute to community. So all this shaped my personality. Now, add to this, Bryon, I believe I'm the only candidate among the 22 who has the matching experience to manage a corporation. You see, the city of Calgary is a corporation, and it's a unique corporation. It's not a business. Many people make a mistake. See, I'm a businessman. I can run the city. There is a mistake here. Why? Because the businessman has people working for him, and he signed the front of their check. So they have to say yes, sir, all the time. But some candidates think that they can take that experience to the council. No, the mayor does not sign a check for the councillor. Therefore, you need a different system to manage this. And that's where many candidates, under the assumption that the business experience is going to help them to run the city, no, you need to have a unique experience in people management, which I have a degree in this, plus have a technical background experience like understanding transportation. Well, that's part of my background. Understanding how to build the best rail line, understanding how to protect the city against flood. All this combined together give me the qualifications for the job. So since I came to this stage in my life, Bryon, where I fulfilled most of my dreams, I do not need another job. I do not need the money. And that's why I am the only candidate has those three characters distinguish me from everybody. I am the one who committed to term limits, 2 terms. I committed to this when I ran in 2017. I was the only one among the 10 people running committed to term limits. Number 2, and this is a very good test, Bryon, for the people who want to shortlist the candidate. The people in Calgary, which I lived here for over 30 years, now you can see your friends, your relatives, neighbors suffered, lost their job, or had to take a major cut. And in this city of almost 1.5 million, we're looking not for 1,500, 15,000. We're looking for what? This is a very important point, right? We're looking for 15 people. We call them the council, the mayor and the councillors. So 15 people has to be very special people. They have to show a different characteristics and commitments. None of the people running, especially the one that the media put in the top, has committed themselves to take a pay cut to show that they really relate to people suffering. You see, that's a very important test. I committed myself to take 35% cut.
Really?
35. Why? Because I looked at other people in private sector. Private sector, you can be hired today and fired tomorrow. Yet they took over 20% cut. A mayor getting 4 years guaranteed job or more if you want to stick around and make a career out of it. And is willing to take even 5% cut. I think that is critical. The voters should be smart and outsmart those career politicians. And everybody who's not willing to commit to term limits, not willing to take a pay cut, a significant one, not just a symbolic 5%, they should immediately remove them out of their short list. Because those people are just the same typical career politicians. They just tell you what you want to hear. And then when they get there, they enjoy that huge salary and perks. And they don't do anything because they don't have the qualification. And then all they master is to explain to you why things didn't.
Wow.
I mean, people should get really have a point in time. They say enough is enough. We had enough of those career politicians who didn't have any qualification and don't have the decency to take a decent pay cut to lead by example.
Interesting. So, Emil, I'd like to take this in maybe in a little different direction, and that's as a result of my interest in my background and my lack of interest, maybe in that part of me, maybe like politics, actually. So, what I find myself is to be in quite a unique position because I love doing this podcast. I love it, and the title of Calgary Living, Real Estate and Lifestyle. It's more, but I get to interview interesting folks like yourself about life in Calgary. And I'm interested in like how you're stepping up to be a leader in our city and what caused you to come to bring to that. And in terms of, I personally feel like, I guess I should admit that there's been lots of elections where I just don't vote because I don't become informed. And I feel like, how could I vote? And so in this section, I'm probably going to vote, FYI, but that's just a little bit of sharing of, me. I was very involved in student politics in high school and really have not been since. So I'm very curious and very interested and I want to say thank you. I appreciate you for stepping up and wanting this leadership position. Tell me a little bit about your life. Tell me about some of your real estate decisions. And are your kids in Calgary now currently?
I moved to Calgary for number of reasons. The beauty of the city, the rolling hills, the green area. I love green areas. And of course, the mountains. That's the number one reason made me move from Edmonton to Calgary. Excuse me. And then, of course, I realized later that the people and the mentality, the entrepreneurship, something I relate to. All these things attract me to Calgary. And I purchased a house in Woodbine. I believe that was my first purchase. Also, I did quite a bit with real estate people because I used to have land in Big Valley and I was selling the lands. So I have a good experience with the real estate people and buying and selling real estate. And as a person, again, with engineering background, urban planning and stuff like that, I have a master plan for the city, Bryon. And the real estate people are going to be busy because we have the largest land per capita in North America.
Mm-hmm.
So we can build the most livable, a sophisticated city with the modern transportation system, with variety of buildings. In Egypt, people come to look at all these things, like or the pyramids.
Right.
My philosophy is you build the pyramids once and you make money out of it forever. When I went to Europe, for example, I've been in almost more than 20 countries and was Canadian and American tourists. And I watched them because I lived in Europe. I worked in Europe for many years, but some of them coming for the first time, Canadians and Americans and others, and taking pictures of buildings. You see, so real estate and buildings for me as a mayor, things that attracts tourists, and we build it once and then we make money from it forever. So I'm going to pay attention to how to have cities, buildings and construction and stuff that attract tourists to come and look at and take pictures beside. So that's how I relate to your background in real estate, buildings, construction. That's what you hear from a civil engineer.
As a civil engineer, so when I was sort of wanting to take on this project on, interviewing as many of these mayoral, mayoral candidates as possible, I asked my, social media group and friends, hey, what if you were like, what do you want to know from your next mayor? And Michelle asked the question, where do you stand on bike lanes as a civil engineer? What's your stance on bike lanes? In our city?
You see, I just finished telling you about the master plan, and Calgarians, many of them love biking. And that's a very healthy attitude to try to use biking for transportation or just for exercise. And we have the land, as I mentioned to you. We have the largest maybe biking lanes in the country. Mm-hmm. So we have to build in that. When you have a master plan for the city, you have also to incorporate the idea that this generation love biking. Biking is a healthy exercise, so we got to make room for it.
I don't quite understand a little bit about how this election is different from other elections in terms of donors. But if someone asked the question, who are your biggest donors and what do your donors expect from you, Emil?
Yeah, in my history, Bryon, I never had any donors that the one you call them interest group. And that's what distinguished me again from the other candidates. My history and my current situation here, I do not seek any donation from interest group. And that's why this election is critical, Bryon. If you have people receiving donation from influential person or union, unless if you came from a different planet, that individual loyalty is to the donor for two reasons. Because the donor makes this agreement with them. I'm going to support you in return of this. Number two, and the voters are smart and going to catch this point, that candidate will remain faithful to that donor because they will need their help in the next election because they are career politicians. So if they satisfy their needs during the first term, they're going to help them in the next term because they want to make career out of politics. That's why you can understand the importance of term limits. Okay. So I do not seek any specific groups to help me, but I take small donations just for the expense of the campaign. I tell you a funny story. Last time when I was running, one person came to me and said, I want to donate $1,000. I found the figure is big. So I said, well, if I win, I'm going to give you this money back. He started arguing back and forth with me. So I called the election guy. I said, are there any rules against me giving this money back to the person if I was elected? They said, well, actually, there is no specific rules. That's my philosophy, Bryon. If you get me $10 and you come back to me and said, I need a favor from you, I give you $10. I will have two buckets here. One has a whole bunch of $10 and one has a loony. So when you come and ask me for a favor, because you give me $10 or $50, I'll give you the 50 back and the loony for the interest.
Wow. Well, how do you win an election, Emil? This is your third time through. Like, what are you doing? Like, it's a daunting job. How do you get the word out on yourself? I guess on your campaign, which I don't really have that much interest in the campaign. I want to know the person. How do you win an election?
Well, I tell you what, for me, again, my background in engineering, we look at formulas and numbers.
Right. You're an analytical.
Yeah.
You must know how to win an election.
So the strategy this time is you don't have Nancy running. So that's creating your equation. The other thing is I am the only one been campaigning from the next day after the election of 2017. I came on the social media. I said, I'm going to be running again. So for the last 4 years, Bryon, I've been campaigning on social media and I have huge supporters. Like, by the response people. And that's why many people think I have a good chance this time. Because people are looking now for what they call it, the third option. What we have is two options so far. Career politicians, counselor, they couldn't stay for more than one term and jump in the big job. We have no experience. Like two of them has a history of voting against the wishes of the people. That is, I believe, Gondiak and Davidson. all their history shows that they vote against the people, and now they think they still going to fool the people. And then Farkas, which I call him my student, because Farkas, before he was elected last time, he came to me. I said, I want to meet with you. And we met in Starbucks, and he spent an hour asking questions and want to learn from my experience. And I shared with him the idea of term limits. I shared the idea was we have to have more town hall meetings. And he did exactly what he had from.
He was doing town hall meetings like every month or something for his last term. Yeah.
If you go back to my website in 2017 or my current website, I was promoting this idea. You can listen. So Farkas did it. But Farkas, he always tried to defend himself even. And he said, I am not Mr. No. But you see, the problem here is no experience in even those three people at the top, the medium, mid, and bottom at the top. They never even have a history of running a lemon stand successfully. And now they want to run the sophisticated city of Calgary. They don't have any experience. So you have those three, and then you have a whole presenting some nice ideas, but you have no clue what the problem is with the council. Because they keep talking about collaboration. Oh, we're going to come and make them work together. I already answered that. This is not a business. This is an organization. We receive money from the taxpayer as a council, and we decide how much we get from them. And then we are responsible to spend it wisely and honestly. That's different than running a business. So they don't understand the concept. If they don't understand the concept and they think they're going to come to the council and make them work together and it's not going to work, then the whole system will collapse. Because what really deciding what happening in your daily life, Bryon, and is decided by those.
Gee, time is flying already. I want to ask you some think of them as rapid fire questions. It's your first day in the mayor's office. Who are you calling to set up meetings with?
I will call all the councillors because many of them knew. And I will introduce as a new management system, how to manage the council and how to deal with the people. The system is very sophisticated. I used it and I learned it in my career. And the system requires the councillors to go to their communities, provide information, education, and then come back. And I take the feedback from them and I put it in that program. It's a management program, analyze the information. Then what we can come up with, I share it with all the councillors. Then you go back to the community, say we're talking here about should we have in the Olympics or not. So they go back to the communities and they continue share information until we have a clear idea what is the direction that the people want to take. Go for the Olympics or not. And this way we can vote the wishes of the majority using this modern management system. And this way, if you are a union member or if you are somebody, you realize a certain donor, it doesn't matter. You are not going to get away with that. You have to follow the system. And I'm going to ask for a mandate from the people to apply the system. So this way, I will eliminate anybody who trying to force their own opinion or the donor's opinion. They'll lose them. Yeah.
On the Olympics, I can't stop thinking about it. Why were the Olympics not? I think we as a city said no, we don't want them. Is that true? And was that a good idea, Emil?
No, see, I presented my idea, as I mentioned to Bryon on social media. I said it's not yes, it's not no. You will never find me no person. I always present an alternative. I said it's not just now. We are not ready for it now. But yes. Do you know that during the last Olympics, I was doing some research at the University of Calgary, and I met with all those athletes because they were there. And that was the moment I did the pride of having this opportunity to speak to those athletes. I love Olympics. I'm a very active person. I practice lots of sports, but we were not financially or from the safety point of view ready. Imagine now if we went for the Olympics and with this economic situation today.
Probably a good, I guess it sounds like it was a good idea that we said no. What was that, 2 or 3 years ago?
Yeah, but I'm not saying no for good. No, just the timing was. But the idea, I love it.
It sounds like you lived in Edmonton. What do you think of that? The talk about the high-speed train between Edmonton and Calgary. What's your opinion on that? As infrastructure guy.
Yeah, I will be one of my campaign secrets to you. I will be the champion for
Okay.
this. Yeah,
Interesting.
either the company that working or another company. I like competition. I will champion that. Why? So many benefits. You don't have to drive and pollute the air with your cars. You don't have to be tired getting to Edmonton. You're going to save money. So there are so many benefits of having that festival. But later on, Bryon, I will reveal more details about my plan. But you are the first one to know that I'm going to be the champion for that festival.
Interesting. As our oil and gas industry seems to be changing, and that we should, I'm understanding that we should maybe look more like tech as a city in the future. I'm surprised a little bit that you're so confident on that high speed train. I mean, I don't. Well, I guess I'm just a little surprised that that's still a movement forward.
Bryon, I am a forward thinker, and I had the opportunity to live in so many different countries. Germany, if you've been in Germany or you visit Japan, modern transportation, fast trains.
Yes.
And that's where the people are going to get on the train, because today our LRT is a burden taxpayer. It doesn't make money. The green line in the current design still going to be burdened because there is not enough ridership. But when I build something fast, like in Germany or Japan, people love fast because they need to save time.
Mm-hmm.
There is a major concept here behind it. And once you have some attractive idea like this, investors are going to come. Like, it's not going to be always question of how we're going to afford it. Any brilliant idea attract investors. So you will hear more about my details. There is just one piece of the puzzle I'm giving you, but my master plan for the city is more elaborate than that. We're going to take it to the next century.
Awesome. This question may be for you as as an engineer. Is there any reasonable, sensible alternative to market value assessment?
Oh, yes. Yeah. But I'm not going to reveal that. No, my friend. Just stay tuned. Yes, there is an alternative, smart alternative. That's the difference here, right? I have a comprehensive plan. Everybody running have slogans, buzzwords. I have a plan. What you just mentioned is going to be part of my plan, because sophisticated transportation, master plan for the city, all this work together. Piece of puzzle that needs somebody has experience in how to put it together and understand the language when you speak to the engineers in the city or the bureaucrats. I understand the language so I can challenge them. But if you don't understand the language and you are here and they talk to you about the design for the green line, and then you find they don't know what they're talking about, they're using lingo, and then you hand it back to them. So once you hand the project to the bureaucrats, and voters should realize that one of the deception, the bureaucrats are not bad people. They are hired people. Their main concern is their department, the budget that you can get, how can we get the next budget, how are they going to get promotion. That's human nature. But they are not hired to look after the best interest of Calgary. That's why we have politicians. They are elected on the trust basis. So that's why if you at this junction of our city history have a mayor who has this background and knowledge, can challenge the bureaucrats and their engineers. And if I was a mayor 10 years ago, Bryon, I tell you the green line we would look to go.
Mm-hmm. Okay, interesting. It's kind of, in the sake of time, I have two more questions I'd like to just quickly touch on. Maybe something around the arts and maybe something around our emissions reduction plan. In the arts, what will you do to ensure, the question is, what part do you see the arts playing in society as we emerge from the effects of COVID? This is a question from my friend Brandon.
That's a very dear question to me, because I already gave you a hint when I spoke about the pyramids or the tombs in Egypt, and people goes inside the tombs and see the paint that lasting 1,000 years. It was done once, and they make billions of dollars
right
every year and the day. Arts is one of the things I strongly believe in. If we have the arts that attract people and tourists to come, we're going to make tons of money of something we did once. So arts is very smart idea to pay attention to. And this big Ukrainian egg, you know that big Ukrainian egg in Berlin, I guess.
I think I've seen it in a magazine. I don't think I've been there.
I like to tell you something about the Queen of England, a lady that have seen everything on the planet, that have seen things nobody have access to it. When she came to Canada in one of her visits, she made a point to go and look at this egg. You see?
Where is it? Where is it, this egg?
It's a small town, start with the letter V.
It's not Vulcan. No, if I'm into Vulcan, I saw no egg.
No.
We'll figure it.
Yeah. But you see, beautiful art bring even celebrity. And if the Queen will come to visit, other people going to come, and the people in their town are going to be starting and making money out of this tourist. So yeah, if you use it properly, it is one of the magic ways to enhance the economy.
And how will you ensure that Calgary plays its part regarding emissions reduction and the clearly critical net zero target?
Yes, of course, I lived in Calgary for more than 30 years. I never heard anybody say, I love this factory next to my house, the smoke and the smell. Goodness. As far as I know them, they love the green space. They run in the weekend to the green area and park. We all love green. And that's why I talked to you earlier about the master plan of the city. If you have a master plan for the coming 50 or 100 years and make the city livable, breathable. Look at what happened in Ontario or in China. We are in our way if we continue planning the city this way. One of the meetings of this current council, there was argument among them, and one of them, the council stood up and said, our plan so far to the city, I would describe this as hodgepodge. That is a word from a councillor in the current hodgepodge. So I'm going to put a plan to the voters to look at. Master plan, including sophisticated fast transportation, all kinds of buildings and green space. So this way, we can practically achieve our goal of cutting an emission and cars. When you have a high speed, I eliminate number of cars. Do you realize that cars are major contributors to emission?
I would think so.
So when I champion this fast lane, look how many cars going to be off highway 2.
Nice.
So I'm a practical person. I don't give pie in the sky promises, but I believe being real in our thinking and make this transition from oil, because oil will disappear. I used to be consultant for oil companies, and we have this oil every day become less and less in the ground, and one day disappear. So we have to be prepared for the future. There's no doubt, and move towards green.
Emil, I guess I'm just coming to an end. Three sort of questions. How do people reach out? What if someone wants to support you? How can they best support you? And if you had a billboard in Calgary, what would it say? And I guess it's really just two questions. How do people reach out to you? What will your billboards say? And it's just two questions. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. The way they can reach out to me is the easiest way is my website, which is I can give you the address. Email EMILE, and then the number 4. So email for
Mayor.
Yes. Email for Calgary Mayor.com. Email for Calgary Mayor.com. That's a way to reach out to me. And if they want to make the nation outside, now we're going to have the room for nation.
And can I get a lawn sign?
I don't really use that.
I was kind of joking. I'm not getting a line.
I never use those.
You never use those. Oh, that's that part of your...
People damage them, steal them. I am heavy on social media. You're going to be all over the place on social media.
Good. And what would your billboard say? Or actually, that was my question that I kept thinking of. What is your ask of Calgarians? And maybe that would be on your billboard. I don't know.
My ask on Calgarian, which is going to be in my website, is that sophisticated idea I came up with, which is called the point system. You have 22 people running for mayor. You have 90-some people running for councillor. Don't go and ask them about how you're going to remove snow for you or garbage. Don't waste your time in the selection on these things. Focus on 5 important points. Yes. Right in the forum or meet debates, ask us 5 questions. Are you willing to commit to term limits, 2 terms? Are you willing to commit to take a pay cut in your salary? Number 3, would you conduct more town hall meetings and listen to the people, not give me your own opinion when the council want to go? And then question number 4, what kind of skills are you bringing to the council that we can make use of it in managing the city efficiently and properly? And the last question is, who is your donor? What are you willing to declare who your donor is? Because if these people are supported by a special interest group or influential donor, take them out immediately. They're not never going to work for you. So that's fine.
Very good questions.
Yeah.
Thank you. I wrote them down.
All right. I wish you the best luck in what you do, and really you're doing a good service to our city.
Thank you, Emil. I really appreciate your work and you standing up to be our next leader. I'm wishing you all the success and looking forward to hearing the results. What is it, October 12th?
18.
October 18th. Emil's our new mayor.
Oh, well. You are not the first one. I said that, so it's later and having that everyone hoping. But seriously, I don't, like I said, I'm not for the money, not for the position. I want to pay.
The passion, the giving back.
I'm giving back my debt to this country that give me the opportunity.
Well, Calgarians, thank you for your interest and your sharing. And I really appreciate it. And thanks for taking the time to be on the show today.
All right. Hopefully